from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Monday, 23rd September 2024, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kambi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. What a privilege to be in the land of the living. There are so many things to be thankful for. If you look around, you can breathe in the fresh morning air this morning. So let's remember to always give thanks and be grateful for something that's happening in our lives. Yes, we have a wonderful show lined up for you this morning, and I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. For those of you who are tuning in, whether you're viewing us here on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, on Amplifier 102, we say welcome to our show this morning, and thank you for always choosing us, making us your number one choice for morning show here in Tobago. Before we get into all the conversations this morning, we're going to head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, September 23, 2024. Tobago's murder toll now stands at 24. Dead are Nicholas Mitchell and Brandon Edwards. Both incidents occurred in Argyle over the weekend. Mitchell was shot while asleep at home on Saturday night, and Edwards was killed after leaving a bar on Friday night. Police are continuing investigations into both incidents. The government will announce today an extension date for the property tax deadline. However, by the end of October, payments will be accepted via automated clearinghouse, bank transfers, and credit cards, according to Finance Minister Colin Imbert. This comes after long lines at Board of Inland Revenue offices as citizens rush to pay their taxes. Imbert highlighted the availability of payment options at several offices across Trinidad and Tobago and promised online payment solutions soon. And finally, the MSJ political leader David Abdullah hinted at a possible mass public action in response to the upcoming 2024-2025 budget, which will be presented on September 30th. Abdullah criticized the PNM for damaging the country and suggested that both the content and omission in the budget may prompt a response from the MSJ, potentially involving street protests. Abdullah emphasized that commercial and industrial customers should pay property tax before homeowners. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And you know, of course, it's Monday morning and we have to speak with TTPS this morning. So we're hoping to get some information and to see the direction they're going as it relates to the curbing of crime here on the island of Tobago, especially with the installation of the new officers, the two new officers here in the Tobago space. But I want to have a light-hearted conversation this morning. Biana, TKR. What's happening there? You know, I was looking at social media and I'm seeing all the banter back and forth. What do you think Marcus is feeling this morning?
I believe he's very delighted, you know, based on his comments thus far with the game last night. I know Nicky Puran, he made that crowd go up in roar last night. I was home watching the game, and it's every time you hear either a 6 or a 4, and you just hear roar from the neighbors. So it was a really good game last night.
Absolutely amazing stuff this morning, and I can't wait to hear Marcus live on set, you know, talking about that game, because you know how it is with Marcus when it comes especially to cricket and TKR. So I'm hoping, you know, I can't wait to hear his remarks in this space where that is concerned. Biana, it's Monday morning, and what are we looking forward to this week? You know, as we head on to tomorrow is Republic Day. We celebrate Republic here in Trinidad and Tobago. What are your thoughts as we go into this week today, Monday?
Well, it's a new week. Let's make the best of it. Though it's a 4-day week, you know, let's make the best of it.
That's right. That's right. Make the best of every opportunity that presents itself to us. Thank you so much, Biana, for being here with us this morning and for bringing us our news in 90 seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to celebrate with those who are celebrating. We head on over to our birthday shout-outs. All right, and of course, this morning, the Tobago Updates family wants to say happy birthday to all our celebrants this morning. And we start off this morning with Mr. Dexter Matthew, aka Bordeaux. I hope I said it correctly. Happy birthday to you this morning. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday today as you begin to write this new chapter in your life. Lindor James is also celebrating a birthday. In fact, it's a belated birthday greeting, and we want to wish you a very, very happy birthday, Lindor. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that as you enter this new chapter of your life, that the pages are beautifully written. So we say happy birthday to you as well. And of course, if you're celebrating a birthday and we don't have your photo, we still want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we remind you to give God thanks for life. For no man can give life unto himself except the Father gives life unto him. It's Monday morning, and you might be wondering what's in my cup. What's in my cup is sponsored by LCJ Delights, and this morning I'm drinking fever grass and ginger tea. Yes, LCJ Delights is the sponsor of my drink this morning, and they are there in Signal Hill, and they provide all types of teas, porridges, and flour for your waffles, pancakes, and all your breakfast menus. So contact them there to get yours this morning. Their number is 396-1638 or 287-2704. Who are we speaking with in studio this morning, might you ask? And I can tell you we start the conversation by speaking with Mrs. Petal Daniel Benoit, Minority Councillor of the Tobago House of Assembly, as she speaks on the mismanagement of T.H.A. finances. She also speaks on the crisis of Tobago's economy. And of course, because it's Monday, we have to speak to our friends there at the TTPS, and representing this morning is Inspector Kathleen Sterling as we speak about absentee fathers and the impact on crime. So we do hope that you can stay with us here on the morning show on Tobago Updates Television as we go through these conversations, get the information that we need, and have the discourse here in the local space. Again, I want to say thank you for those of you who are joining us, whether you're viewing right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, in the United States of America, the Caribbean region, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, the continent of Africa, Asia, wherever you are. Thank you so much for choosing us and for being here with us this morning. We really look forward to taking you on this journey as we bring the information to you, and thank you for making us a part of your morning routine. All right, before we begin conversations in studio this morning, we have to go for a short break, and as we go for a break, we invite you to help us share the live. Stay with us.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release.
Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, in Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on.
From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival.
Down here in Tobago.
Whether you're tripping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Now here what's going on, you see this section, it makes me feel to move. You know why? It's called Pina Colada. I like Pina Colada.
Oh. Forget just the girl them crave for, they really need it too. When you play with
oh my goodness, and as the name says, it is as creamy as it's sweet.
Never wanna leave, cause the drinks them running for throw. Cause I really feel a vibe every time I say right down and up and like this, man, it's nothing like this, not too bad like you. Forget just me say something and nobody like you. And every single time we touch, you know I never stop.
This is pina colada, something nice with a little bit of spice, of course. Not once, but we're gonna do it twice.
Cruise make Nevada.
We are on the road with pina colada. Boom, boom.
I'ma play some tune like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me pick you very hard. Fiesta, fun, fiesta.
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash. Broke what you have, what you know about.
It's too early for that.
You want the good all.
They do, but then enough 99. Girl, go to club, can't ride. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and a winding up on me man.
Dream. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning in studio, and we speak with Mrs. Petal Daniel Benwar, and she is the minority councillor in the Tobago House of Assembly. And we begin the conversation this morning by speaking about mismanagement of the T.H.A. finances. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well, thanks, and thank you so much for being in studio this morning and to have the conversations that we need to have in the Tobago space. As the topic suggests, mismanagement of T.H.A. finances. And we want to get straight into the conversation as you bring out the facts that you have as it relates maybe to projects and initiatives that they have embarked on that will require the purse of the T.H.A. And to see how it has been managed or mismanaged as you so refer.
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. It's been a while since I've been on this morning program, right. So it's always nice to have the discussions with the people. And yes, as a minority, we talk about mismanagement of funds, and we hear oftentimes that the administration speaking about not having sufficient funding to execute its projects and programs. But if you look at the funding that was received by the Tobago House of Assembly over the past 3 years that they have been in office in terms of the allocation, we have seen that year on year the allocation has increased. If we go back to the numbers in 2021, so for the financial year 2021-2022, the Tobago House of Assembly had a budgetary allocation of 2.134 billion. If you go to 2022-2023, that allocation was increased to 2.336 billion, an increase of $202 million. Then our final allocation that was issued in the last parliamentary allocation, 2023-2024, we have an allocation of 2.522, which is an increase of $185 million. And our issue is, one, you have not properly accounted to the people for how you would have expended the public purse, your taxpayer, my taxpayer, all our taxpayers' dollars. And we are seeing on the island where the cost of projects have ballooned. If we take, for example, the Friendship Project, the Friendship Road, we have seen that that Friendship Connector Road was a project under the airport expansion that would have been paid for by the central government. However, for reasons unknown to us, the T.H.A, utilizing its scarce resources, would have engaged in that project. If you have another entity, which is the central government in this instance, willing to pay for a project in excess of millions of dollars, which would have been a dual carriageway road, why would you want to utilize your resources if you have somebody else pledging and another entity, which is the central government, trying to fund those expenses? If you also look at, and one of the projects for me that has significantly increased is the whole idea of the rent and lease program. So this is one particular line item under the estimates and the allocation for the Tobago House of Assembly. And we would have seen year on year where this allocation would have ballooned. And I want to come not just, saying that the figures would have increased, but provide the information where the figures would have increased. For this project in particular, we are seeing that the Division of Infrastructure would have expensed over 89% of that expenditure. If we look from 2021, this allocation, or the expenditure rather, was 13.1 million. When we go to 2022, it increased to 18.8 million. Then in 2023, it skyrocketed to 39.4 million. What is accounting for the increases in expenditure in the Tobago House of Assembly?
I know each administration, we always talk about we don't get enough money from central government, and then you talk about expenses that have been incurred by the previous administration that you have to pay off those bills before you even start projects. You have to round off projects that were implemented before you can embark on the projects that you have now. You have outstanding bills. And so we're talking now about projects that you are saying that have ballooned, the cost of the projects have ballooned. But are we considering the recurring debts that has been there before the administration came in, those debts that they have to pay off with the same allocation that is coming in from central government, albeit that there is an increase, yes. However, that there is escalating debts, or there are debts that were outstanding that they inherited when they came into office. You would hear every administration saying the same thing. Indeed. So is it that some of the allocation has to be put towards the outstanding debt before you can embark on projects or continuing projects or paying off debts for current projects, because that is what the conversation seems to be around most times. You do have, I know that you have outstanding. So when they come in, even if you say there's an increase of 200 and something million, what if you have a debt of 300 and something million? So the increase really is to pay off an old debt. In my own, humble opinion and assessment, sitting from the side where I sit to get the information in terms of how is the money expended. So can we say that the cost has ballooned, or are we saying that there's outstanding debt that has to be paid? How really? Do you have the facts to say, well, this money was the cost of the project really ballooned, or was the money that was the increase in the money, was it spent towards outstanding debts? Did it really go to the project? And why did the project balloon in that way? Why did the cost escalate in such a way? Do you have the information as it relates to that? Or how are we determining that the finances were mismanaged?
So we actually have some information, and in other instances, we don't have the information. And yes, you are right. And that is where we speak to accountability. We're not providing the adequate information to the public so that we as a public could make informed decisions. As I was indicating, you are right that from year to year, we see, and governments to governments, T.H.A administration to T.H.A administration, you would see debts incurred. In 2001, when the PNM came into office, they would have incurred debt from the past NAR administration. And of course, through conversation, through dialogue, we would have lobbied for additional funding to pay off the debt. And over time, those debts were paid. Even in the same administration, from financial year to financial year, you would see debts going over from one financial period to another financial period. In this instance, we would have also seen, and the Chief Secretary would have made it his duty to advise the population what was the outstanding debt, what that was owed from the previous administration. We would have also seen where there were conversations, and in the midterm review, I think it was 2022, the Minister of Finance would have allocated an additional $100 million to settle some of the outstanding debts. So there will be debts incurring from year to year, administration to administration, but you also have to manage them while doing the necessary things to ensure that the assembly continues. I have some information here that when we look at the previous administration and this current administration in relation to costs, the Chief Secretary would have institute an audit into 3 areas of the assembly because they found that there were concerns in terms of cost and expenditure. One of them was the road resurfacing program. And in the House, the Chief Secretary would have brought some information in relation to a preliminary audit. If you look at some of the costs that was quoted by the Chief Secretary as being exorbitant, when we look at the cost now being charged or paid out by this administration, in some instances it is twice, it is 3 times the amount. So we have a cost of hot mix. Under the past administration, the Chief Secretary indicated that it was corrupt to pay the sum of $1,400. Under this administration, they are paying some $2,700. We see here provision for erection and maintenance of project signs and directional and informative signs. Under the past administration, there was a threshold of $80,000. Under this administration, we are seeing that cost is $232,000, a difference of $152,000. Another area that is also alarming: to broom and clean roadway to receive asphalt. And we would have brought out this information in the past. And I think it is very important to reiterate and share with the public how we see the mismanagement.
Can I just ask, you're giving these figures and you're comparing them to the year before.
Not necessarily the year before, but the cost under the previous administration.
Is it that the scope of works have expanded, causing an increase in the cost of the material or the works?
Yeah, but even if the scope of works are increased, if you are saying...
Is it the unit cost? Is this the unit cost you're relating to?
The unit cost. So if you are saying that the unit cost per ton, per cubic meter or whatever is X, and if it was corrupt and overpriced when it was under the previous administration, how could you now come and be expending more, twice the amount, 3 times the amount, 4 times the amount in some instances?
Was any investigation done in terms of the supplier of the raw material, or is it an increase in the price on that end that caused the increase in the demand on this end? I'm asking this because I really want to get fairness and balance, because I know you're saying in one instance it was reported to be exorbitant, and now you're saying now it is almost double. Is it because the supply, the cost of the supply has increased, or is it, have you done any investigation to see if the supply cost is the same and there's just this drastic increase?
Okay, so if we see here something that says to broom and clean roadway to receive asphalt, these prices were charged and are paid to contractors by the Tobago House of Assembly. Under the previous administration, there were bonded agreements so that we know contractors, these are the prices for a particular items, services rendered, and these are the bonded. We agree with them between the T.H.A. and the contractor. So these are bonded prices. I am not sure if they are bonded prices under this administration, but again, if you go for a line item of expenditure that says to broom and clean roadway, what is involved?
What's the increase there? I want to know what's the measure of increase.
The increase there Under the previous administration, it was $432,000. Under this administration, it is $1,665,000, an increase of $1.233 million. What there would have caused the inflation of this amount? Yes, we know inflation would have occurred over the past years. Yes, we expect some level of increase in relation to inflation, but how do you justify this level of expenditure?
That is something that should be further investigated to see how the increase is so far from.
And the thing about it is, we as a minority, we have been filing the questions in the House. A lot of them remain answered. Even when an attempt is made to answer, in our opinion, the answers are not adequate. So we took things a step further. The minority leader, even citizens, would have filed freedom of information requests to various divisions of the assembly to get adequate information, because we don't want to jump to conclusions. We want to have the information so that we can make informed decisions. And for whatever reason, it is proven very difficult to get information from the divisions of this administration on how they are utilizing and spending public funds.
Yeah, it's very important that we are brought up to speed. The transparency, of course, for any administration is absolutely necessary, primarily really for the public trust, right? And we really need to know. So I'd be very interested to see if we could get some answers as it relates to the drastic increase in some, it's primarily for services. For goods, I would be a little bit more lenient for goods.
Look at this other item. It says clean and clear site. Under the past administration, it was $162,000. Under this administration, it's $300,000.
But is it that there are more projects? Is it more roads? Is it more sites? Is it more the activity is more engaging?
It is per. So as I was indicating, if it's the unit cost, of course, in totality, if it's a bigger space, if it's a bigger project, if the scope is different, then you expect the cost to increase in totality. But if you have a unit cost, you do not expect to see this drastic increase when, by your words, you claim that what was being charged by the previous administration was exorbitant.
Absolutely, absolutely. The conversation should continue, and the transparency is necessary. It is required for each and every administration as we talk about spending the money of the people, as you rightfully said, it's taxpayers' dollars, and we need to know how they are being expended, and the accountability is absolutely necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Petal Daniel Benwo, Minority Councillor in the Tobago House of Assembly, as we speak about the mismanagement of T.H.A. finances. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversation. But as we go for this break, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Roads lead to the Sid Grace Sporting Complex on Tuesday, 24th September for the T.H.A. Republic Day Cultural Show and Fireworks Display. With performances by the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services Band, the Best of Best Village 2024, highlights from the Tobago Heritage Festival 2024, Flaming Fire Limbo, Franz Job, a steel pan blowout featuring Kirsch Ramsey, Calypso Quartet, and much more. The cultural show begins at 6 p.m. and the fireworks display at 8 p.m. It's the T.H.A.'s Republic Day Cultural Show and Fireworks Display. Don't you miss it.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We continue conversations this morning with Mrs. Petal Daniel Benoit, Minority Councillor in the Tobago House of Assembly. And we switch gears a little bit this morning. We start the conversation now on the crisis of Tobago's economy. A very, very important conversation, as it were, here in the Tobago space. So let's dive straight into the conversation. I know there's a lot of talk in the public space as it relates to the state of the economy, especially coming out of COVID. The entire world face that tragedy, and we've had to all rebuild capital capacity in all different spaces. And we're talking now about the state of the economy here on the island of Tobago and what we were able to do to rebuild, if at all, and the challenges we now face. And we're talking about well, of course, we have a new administration in the T.H.A. who is responsible. Their primary responsibility really is to assist with building up the economy. So where are we right now? The topic is labeled the crisis of Tobago's economy. So in your opinion, in your view, and I suppose with your facts, where do we stand right now in terms of rebuilding our economy and positioning us in a good place so that we can all benefit here as people residing on the island of Tobago?
Well, undoubtedly. If you look around, you speak to people, you talk to individuals, businesses, our Tobago economy is in crisis. Under the past administration, and yes, you spoke to coming out of COVID, what the PNM administration would have done, COVID, we recognized there was a shutdown, nothing happened. Services had to be stopped, businesses had to be closed temporarily, of course, all in an effort to protect lives. Coming out of COVID, the previous PNM administration was able to rebound the economy. So the economy grew to $1.68 billion. We see coming into this administration, so the PNM handed this current administration an economy of $1.68 billion. In the recent budget, we heard the Chief Secretary, former Secretary of Finance, indicating that the GDP is now $1.66 billion. If you move from a GDP of $1.68 billion to a GDP of $1.66 billion, it means that there's a reduction or a decline. And we feel it, we see it. You talk to people almost every day. Somebody is coming to you seeking services, seeking help, seeking social assistance. You talk to businesses. We are seeing that some businesses would have had to close their doors, some on the brink of foreclosure, some not able to meet their financial obligations. Some businesses are not able to maintain their workforce because of the level of activity that is on the island. So they've had to send home workers. You hear the stories. Every time you talk to somebody, you hear the stories. You go to the villages. You hear from the shopkeepers. You hear from the community shops. Business is not as booming as it was. The activity is not as it was in the past.
What are some of the challenges? I always like to ask this question, right? We're talking about businesses not booming. Is it that the consumer is not consuming? What is causing the businesses to be flat, as it were, and not engaging and bringing that level of income that it usually brings? And I ask this question because we know that the chief secretary, when he came in, he said the T.H.A. really, the primary workforce on the island of Tobago is the T.H.A. What I have noticed, or what the administration is trying to do, is empower persons to become business owners. In the Tobago space, it is a challenge to be a profitable business owner on the island of Tobago. You might be able to have a business that might sustain your home, but in terms of having a business that is so large and has a name, it really is difficult. What are some of the causes that will hinder your business from growing in that type of way? And I'm talking about, in the Tobago instance, the space that we are. Is it the culture? Is it that the product isn't good? What is the reason that you can see from where you are doing your research and bringing the facts that is causing businesses to not thrive on the island of Tobago? Because they are businesses. Persons have opened businesses. The T.H.A. has supported persons in opening businesses. They've had support in terms of training and all these types of projects that they've had. They've given grants and bursaries to persons opening business. And now we're saying here now, businesses are not doing well. What are the primary causes?
Well, there are many causes why businesses will not do well. Some because of their own, how they manage their business personally, and others would be as a result of the policy directives of the administration not enabling economic activity on the island. And I want to give you an example. So if we look at under the previous administration, we saw a number of homegrown contractors getting jobs under the past administration. We would have seen that these contractors would have hired persons from our villages, from our communities, from our islands. When they are hired, they spend in their community shops, they spend in the groceries, they spend wherever. So they spend at the hairdressers, they spend at the nail technicians. They do stuff so the money circulates within the economy. We are seeing now where a number of contractors are not able to keep their staff because they're not getting jobs. And if we look at the information from the COSO, so while we see that the T.H.A. workforce has increased, we are seeing where the private sector workforce has reduced. So from 2022 to 2023, we have paid employees in the private sector reducing from 9,000 in 2022 to 7,100 in 2023. And of course, that is a drastic increase. We have thousands of people in the private sector not employed. So if they are not employed, it means that they don't have the spending capacity. It means that they would only do what is necessary, provide food, clothing, and shelter. They wouldn't have expenditure for other ancillary stuff, or they would not have anything at all. So they would have to reach out to social services, reach out to other people who can assist them in meeting their day-to-day needs. And that is a direct result of some of the policies of this administration.
And I want to piggyback on something you just said there. You said now they have to reach out to social services and other persons to assist them to meet their basic needs. Is there any increase in the social service support, the increase in numbers, not just the increase in the disbursement of funds in terms of, okay, we move you from $1,000 to $1,500.
Yes.
Numbers. Is there an increase of demand on social services here on the island of Tobago because of persons being unable to meet their basic needs?
Based on the persons coming to us and reaching out to us, we have seen an increase in persons seeking social support. So from time to time, you will see persons saying, they're asking you for assistance in whatever way, they are reaching out to you, indicating we have gone to the Division of Health and Social Protection to get services. For whatever reason, they aren't able to get help. In some instances, they are able to get help. Sometimes the minority leader, the office of the minority, will directly reach out to persons in the administration, be the secretary, the chief secretary, to try to seek assistance to person. So on our side, we have seen an increase in persons reaching out for social assistance.
I would love to see the report from the actual administration to see if the balance, to see the dispensation there in terms of if there's additional persons coming and the number for the period that we're talking about here. Because, as I said, it's hard times for everybody. And we gotta live, we gotta survive some one way or the other. It's good that there's social services there, but what I want to do is, we're talking now about the crisis of the economy. How do we rebuild the economy? How do we improve the situation that the average Tobagonian is going through right now, as you mentioned, because they've been laid off from the private sector? Where do we filter them through? Businesses are being created, yes, but how do we get them to a place where they feel confident enough or comfortable to know that they can meet their basic needs and then some?
Yeah, and it's about building confidence in the economy. We have seen also a situation where I feel like you need to, engage more Tobago contractors so that they can engage our citizens.
But is it just contractors though? Because
no, it's not only contractors, because again, you hear the cry. We on social media and we see persons who are engaged by various divisions for services. We saw when persons from Heritage had to be singing for the money. We saw where service providers complaining about the length of time to be paid. We are seeing where persons in various competitions have to be begging to be paid either their appearance fees, their prize monies, their grants. So it has to deal with something about the management of our funding, the prioritization of our projects. What are our priorities? And I think at this time, we need to prioritize people.
Absolutely. And, I really hope that we can get to a place where there's more transparency on either side, because any administration coming in, you will get information, but there's some information that it's a little bit more difficult to get. And of course, to bring us to a place where, because let me bring it down for you as a layman. If you have, and I don't have, I'm looking at what you have.
Yes.
And that is part of what causes crime. I know we're not here to talk about crime, but we had to talk about the facts, right? And so I want us to get to a place where it's fair across the board. And I'm looking for more investigation, more data, not just from the minority side, but I'm hoping to get the information from the administration, the current T.H.A. administration, in terms of what they have been doing, because I have been seeing them doing stuff, but I want to know what the numbers are and the benefits to the people of the island, on the island of Tobago, as it relates to building the capacity once again to bring us to a place where we can spend. And listen, I see people spending money here. Carnival is coming up. So I'm wondering, are we really in a crisis? The October Carnival is coming and people are spending. Our local people are spending as well. So is it 100% fair to say that we are in a crisis? Or is it, should we say that we have to monitor the position that we are as the economy relates?
I hold my point that we are in crisis. And just as the T.H.A. has to prioritize, individuals also have to prioritize. So if you are unable to meet your financial day-to-day needs, then you should prioritize what is important. This administration came into office indicating that they will deal with bread and butter issues, that they will prioritize people. We are not feeling and seeing those bread and butter issues being dealt with, and we are not feeling as a people that we are being prioritized.
So in terms of as it relates to projects that the T.H.A. is embarking on right now that provides, as I mentioned earlier, that measure of support, empowering people. Just in the past couple of months, you've seen so many different, especially during the summer vacation, one where they employ students who are on vacation, where they provide that measure of projects, where they embark on engaging young persons, where they provide the BDU, for instance, they provide grants, and not just give them the grants, but they also do the training in terms of empowering them and the follow-up. Even Tobago, they're doing also the farmers and stuff like that. They're giving them that measure of support. Is it that that is not enough? What is it that you want to see that would, give you that measure of confidence to say, well, okay, the T.H.A. is now heading in the right direction to bring back the economy in a place that is satisfactory, that will help all of us here on the island of Tobago. And I want to put the politics aside, right? Because we're talking now about bread and butter, as you said. And I want you to identify things that you see as you are seeing that the T.H.A. is making strides in doing something. However, maybe they can improve on something else. Where do you stand where that is concerned?
I am saying create or foster economic activity on the island. So I was speaking and basic. I was speaking to a gentleman who is in the music industry. And this was about a week ago. And he indicated that in the past, he would get a number of businesses that will help to sustain him and sustain his livelihood. Now there are business is few and far between. The business that he would have gotten in the past, he's no longer getting. He even went further to say that persons who would have come to him to do business are now reluctant because, one, they would have engaged in service with the administration, and for how many months they have not been paid. So they are ashamed now to approach him to do further business because, one, they may have not paid for a previous business that they would have engaged with him, and two, they're afraid that they're not able to pay for this current business. And that's just an example. So one, if we pay persons in a timely manner, that would also help in the circulation. We are seeing the complaints from the service providers. We are seeing the complaints from individuals. We are seeing the complaints from workers. 2, 3, 4 fortnights have gone and they remain unpaid. Improve on how you pay people timely. If you work, you expect a wage for your pay. Why should I go 4 fortnights and not be paid? So it's as simple as paying people on time. It's as simple as managing the resources. It is as simple as engaging more local content in the space. We are seeing and we are hearing, and there's no problem with engaging contractors not from Tobago. But when you see other contractors are being engaged, the funds not circulating in the space because the money is basically going elsewhere, as was stated when they were on the other side, you feel the effect of the money coming out of the space.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to continue this conversation. We have to go for a short break before we continue. We're going to stay speaking with Minority Councillor of the T.H.A, Mrs. Petal Daniel Benwo, as we speak about things related to us here on the island of Tobago. As we go for a break, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Roads lead to the Sid Grace Sporting Complex on Tuesday, 24th September for the T.H.A Republic Day Cultural Show and Fireworks Display. With performances by the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services Band, the Best of Best Village 2024, highlights from the Tobago Heritage Festival 2024, Flaming Fire Limbo, Franz Job, a steel pan blowout featuring Kirsch Ramsey, Calypso Quartet, and much more. The cultural show begins at 6 p.m. and the fireworks display at 8 p.m. It's the T.H.A's Republic Day Cultural Show and Fireworks Display. Don't you miss it.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU. Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Stop. You don't have to sneak in. You don't have to sneak. Pigeon Point security, we have an access pass. You don't have to sneak in.
What access pass is that?
The new Pigeon Point Breaking Beach access card. With this card, you can get free access to Pigeon Point, a free umbrella and a free chair. So make sure you get your Pigeon Point access card.
I can get that?
Definitely. This is your access card, so you can now go into Pigeon Point.
Okay. Guys, we outside in Pigeon Point, sun and sand, and we enjoying it with we access cards. All social media links to Youth Voice and Pigeon Point would be tagged, and stay tuned for it.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from...
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi and we're just about 7:49 a.m. So if you're getting to work for 8 and dropping the children off to school, you should be very close to your office. Remember to be safe on our nation's roads. All right, we continue conversations this morning with Mrs. Petal Daniel Benwo, Minority Councillor of the Tobago House of Assembly, and we want to shift gears a little bit, but before I shift gears, we were talking about late payments for services and also for persons employed within the T.H.A. who are primarily paid on a fortnightly basis. Is there a policy? I want to talk about service providers now. When you have an event, you engage a service provider. They submit their quotations, they bid for the project, they submit their quotations, they're selected, and they provide the service with the expectation to be paid. Sometimes it takes a long time. Is there a policy that you're aware of that should guide how long it should take for a service provider to be paid after they have provided a service?
Well, I recall under the past administration, the former Secretary of Finance, he would have installed a policy where payment should be made a month and a half after the service was provided. So, and we try to stick to that. Of course, there were some odd instances where that may not have occurred, but in the majority, persons were paid a month, 2 months. We didn't go 6 and 7 months, a new festival coming on the old festival that passed and persons weren't paid. In terms of workers in particular, we try to pay workers on time. So at the end of the fortnight, persons were paid.
Now, I want to talk about this payment thing because I know a lot of persons who have been affected by this. It's primarily service providers. While I know the internal staff must be paid when it's payday, I want to talk about service providers because I have heard the cries of service providers not being paid, as you mentioned, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, and they're trying to get their salaries and their payments rather for the services they have provided. When you submit a quotation, you have to submit realistic quotation.
Yes.
For the T.H.A. and for yourself as a service provider, because at the end of the day, you have to be paid for the service you are providing. And when the payment comes back so late, there is no interest. The value now to the service you provide, it doesn't make sense in the space anymore. And so now you're wondering, what do I do as it relates to, I really didn't make $1 here, you know, and you're in business to profit.
Yes.
And that is what we're talking about, rebuilding the economy. You really are here to make a profit. But I also do understand from the T.H.A. perspective that they too have policies in terms of we have to keep it at a minimal, and we have to, you know, ensure that we don't overpay for a service that is provided. But the service provider is there waiting. When am I getting my money? When am I getting my money? And then now, you are disenchanted as a service provider. You don't want to come. There are certain divisions when they call you, just tell them no because they know what to expect. Is it how do you manage? Because I know sometimes when the invoices come in, it might be around pay time and your salary clerks or whoever, I don't know what the structure is in there, they might be working on salaries, which is priority. And I understand that it's priority over doing invoices for service providers. What is being done or what can be done to create a help desk, if it were, for service providers when you embark on a project or you're having a nice fancy event and you want a caterer, you want a decorator, you want somebody? How do you provide support for that person to rebuild the confidence, to rebuild the trust, for them not to see an email coming in and saying, oh, can you provide a quote? And they say, I don't even have time with that. How do you create or bring back that level of trust for that person?
So, Adana, it comes back to management. So the cycle starts. You have your estimates. So the T.H.A. has its estimates. It sends it down. It's approved in the House. It goes to the Cabinet. The Cabinet now has its budgets read. They have their appropriation, and each line item has the appropriation by head, subhead, line item. What the Tobago House of Assembly has authority over that ministries do not have without going back to Parliament is to reallocate the resources that come to the Tobago House of Assembly. So the Tobago House of Assembly receives $2.5 billion. They can identify what their priorities are and reallocate the funding based on its priorities. So if under one division, you know, and I'm taking, for example, the division of tourism, you know, you have Carnival, you know, you have Heritage, you know, you have Blue Food, you have all the festivals. So you budget for the festivals with the resources that you have available. Each quarter, you are required, based on your estimates, to supply a request for release from the division. So based on the activities that you have, based on the resources that you have available to you, you request your releases. So if you know as a division, you only have $10 and you have to split it up among several activities, you would budget to so do. So if you could only spend $1 on an activity, then you maintain the budget within that $10. So each activity, this is how it was done in the past, each festival had its budget. You submit the budget to Executive Council approves the budget, the Secretary of Finance sources the funding. So you know that your budget for this festival is $10. When you are issuing a call for quote or a call for service providers, every service provider ought to come in within your budget. If that is not the case, then it means at the end of the festival, you have to be looking for money to pay the service providers you are unable to pay. And that's why I say it has to do with how you manage the financial resources. So if you manage the financial resources adequately, you know what you have in hand, you know what you have to spend, and at the end of the day, where the expenditure is incurred, yes, when it comes to salary preparation, that takes priority, but at the end of the day, there are funds allocated to pay your service providers. A lot of times when we hear the complaints, and it goes back to the secretary, we hear the secretary saying they have to go back to the Division of Finance, and they're waiting on Division of Finance for funding. But to me, that is the cart before the horse.
Yeah, every event usually has a budget, and it is wise to stay within the budget, of course, to ensure that you don't overspend. But you're talking now about being able to reallocate funds, as in move funds around. You know, I have a little knowledge in the accounting thing for working in the T.H.A. many moons ago, and I know that something they call virements or something like that, where they could move stuff around. So even in the event, if you overspend, let's say an incident, you have an event that costs as the $10, as you say, your budget is $10, but there are incidents that might occur that might bring it up to $12, but you only allocate the $10 for it. You could find the $2 somewhere, can't you?
Well, you should be able to find it when you look at the bigger picture. But to me, I am encouraging prudence. Because if you overexpend in every area, after a while, it will become difficult to find the resources to put to the expenditure.
Is that the situation we are in now?
Based on some of the comments you are hearing from some of the secretaries, and particularly when you hear the comments, people are crying out for pay, you hear the Secretary of Tourism indicating they have to go to the division to seek more funding, it appears that there is some lack of management somewhere with the funding.
So these are conversations that have to be had in terms of how do we manage. Is there I use this term already. Is there a policy guideline in terms of how do you manage finances to ensure that your bills are paid?
Most definitely there's a policy guideline.
And is it that we're moving away from, like, how is it, what is the relationship in applying the policy that exists?
It's difficult to say what this administration is doing, but you are seeing what they are not doing. So there's a policy where you should not spend in excess of your releases. So each month, the divisions are issued releases. That is how it occurred in the past. So you know for a month you have X amount to spend. Yes, you have a parliamentary allocation, but again, the T.H.A. has the priority to reallocate based on its priorities. So you could have a total recurrent expenditure of 2.1 million. Past successive administration would have suppressed the recurrent because, of course, the development program budget is always less than you would like. So they will suppress the recurrent expenditure to transfer to do more development programs on the island. And it is something that the administration can do. Similarly, yes, you have the allocation. Divisions have an allocation of X amount. However, they will not be released that total allocation in one tranche. Each month, they will have releases. So one of the policies are you should not spend in excess of your release.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to ask this question. While I know the current administration is responsible for managing and governing the things that happen here on the island of Tobago, which include the purse, is there an opportunity or an opportunity, I'll call it an opportunity for discourse between the administration and the minority to have conversations of this nature outside of sitting in the house and going back and forth? Is there any collaborative efforts when you have challenges, for instance, the situation of crime. The situation of crime is not a PNM thing, it's not a TPP thing, it's not a UNT thing, it's a Trinidad and Tobago thing, and we're all affected and impacted by the things that happen there. Is there a situation where there's a collaboration for challenges that might occur, things that you might identify as a minority, that you can have a conversation, not just with this administration, but I'm talking about in the past and for future? Is there an opportunity to sit and say, listen, this is a serious challenge, it's affecting all of us on the island of Tobago, here's what we're going to do, and have that conversation and then implement policy?
Most definitely, Adana. And if you look at the history of this minority in particular, when we came into power, COVID was still at its peak, so to speak. The minority would have reached out to the administration because COVID was something that affected all of us, and we wanted to be a part of the discussion. So we were included in the discussion. Similarly, in relation to crime, crime is something that affects all of us. Crime is not something that ought to be overly politicized. And as a result, this minority would have reached out to the Chief Secretary on several occasions to engage in discussions in relation to crime. The Chief Secretary has invited us to participate in some of those meetings, the meetings with the head of the security services in Tobago, and we contributed to that discussion. Even subsequent to the discussion, there was a joint press conference between the minority and the Tobago House of Assembly. So we see our role as responsible, and we take our role seriously.
Absolutely, absolutely, as you should. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so happy that you stayed with us right throughout till now. We've been speaking with Petal Daniel Benwo, Minority Council of the Tobago House of Assembly, as we speak about very important things as it relates to us here on the island of Tobago. We spoke about the mismanagement of T.H.A. Finances, as well as the crisis of the economy. We touched a little bit on crime and, everything really that relates to us living, surviving and thriving here on the island of Tobago. And I do hope the conversation continues with the T.H.A. administration and the minority, that they can continue to collaborate to implement policies, of course, that will be a benefit to all of us here in the Tobago space. Thank you so much for staying with us even till the end. This is where we have to end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, but it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, and as we go, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live.
This project represents a key step in our commitment to enhancing energy resilience, increasing renewable energy penetration, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions in Tobago, in line with the government's objective of reducing overall greenhouse gas emissions by 15% by the year 2030.
It will impact the school's identity in an enormous way, because Charlottesville Methodist Primary School is the first primary school within Trinidad and Tobago where we have solar panel.
For us, this project is more than just technical work. It's a powerful statement of our commitment to renewable energy solutions, education, and preserving our beautiful island for future generations. The world is rapidly changing, and with it, our approach to energy. By installing this solar system, we reduce our carbon footprint and cultivate environmental stewardship among young minds.
And one of the key factors towards us becoming the greatest little island on the planet is us accepting our climate responsibility. And to see Charlottesville leading, I felt extremely proud.
I feel great because we are saving energy and reducing our carbon footprint on the earth, and that helps to reduce pollution.
For a very long time, we have been reliant solely on hydrocarbons. But this is a step in the right direction a step towards diversifying our energy consumption patterns and a step towards doing so in the most sustainable manner.
If we spread these initiatives all over this country, it means then that T.H.A will no longer have to generate and depend on NGC for billions of dollars in gas that we can now have at our disposal, that we can now use to build more schools and to build more roads and to build more hospitals and to improve the living circumstances of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October. Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release. Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun in Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on. From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival. Down here in Tobago. In Tobago. Whether you're tripping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure. I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making the plans for the Tobago Carnival fun. Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable. I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. The government will announce today the extension date for September 30th tax payment deadline. However, by the end of October, payments will be accepted via automated clearinghouse, bank transfers, and credit cards, according to the Minister of Finance, Colin Imbert. This comes after long lines at the Board of Inland Revenue offices as citizens rushed to pay their taxes. Imbert highlighted the availability of payment options at several offices across Trinidad and Tobago and promised online payment solutions soon. Additionally, Tobago's murder toll now stands at 24. Dead is Nicholas Mitchell and Brandon Edwards, Both incidents occurred in Argyle over the weekend. Mitchell was shot while asleep at home on Saturday night, and Edwards was killed after leaving a bar on Friday night. Police are continuing investigations into both incidences. And finally, MSJ political leader David Abdullah hinted at a possible mass public action in response to the upcoming 2024-2025 budget, which will be presented on September 30th. Abdullah criticized the PNM for damaging the country and suggested that both the content and omission in the budget may prompt a response from the MSJ, potentially involving street protests. Abdullah emphasized that commercial and industrial customers should pay property tax before homeowners. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Now we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back with much more. See you soon.
All roads lead to the Sid Grace Sporting Complex on Tuesday, 24th September for the T.H.A. Republic Day Cultural Show and Fireworks Display. With performances by the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services Band, the Best of Best Village 2024, highlights from the Tobago Heritage Festival 2024, Flaming Fire Limbo, Franz Job, a steel pan blowout featuring Kirsch Ramsey, Calypso Quartet, and much more. The cultural show begins at 6 p.m. and the fireworks display at 8 p.m. It's the T.H.A.'s Republic Day Cultural Show and Fireworks Display. Don't you miss it.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Now, we start off this morning's discussions by talking about all that's happening with the Tobago Republic Day celebrations. And to have that conversation with me this morning, I have the privilege of sitting in studio with the Permanent Secretary for CAST, Mr. Erland Kent, as well as Mrs. Elizmoy Mackenzie. Good morning and welcome. You are the Corporate Communications Officer over there at CAST, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Good morning and welcome. Thank you guys for coming on with us this morning and kind of giving us a bit of a rundown on what we can see happening tomorrow. Permanent Secretary, Mr. Kent, tell us, what are some of the big picture items that we can see happening tomorrow, and then maybe about the route that we are going to see the parade being traversed on.
Okay, so let me start off by saying that Republic Day is a big ticket item for East Tobago. I mean, I recall while I was a child, the excitement and buzz to see the police officers, fire officers marching through the streets of Roxborough. So this has been happening for years, all right? We had a lull at some point in time, and when Minister Ayanna Webster Roy came into office, she, being a Roxborough girl herself, insisted that Republic Day Parade comes back to Roxborough. So it's back and has been running for a number of years since she has taken office. Now, the parade will take the route from Lamy Road in Argyle, right up to Prince Street in Roxborough, and then for the breakout, we'll go back to Sid Grace Stadium. We have 12 detachments on parade, including police, fires, prisons, the Crusaders, a number of youth organizations as well. And after the parade, I'll probably leave that for corporate communications officer. We'll deal with the awards ceremony and
All right.
reception.
But before that, let us know what time is the parade going to be starting? Is it going to be starting promptly? Where should persons be, along that route to really enjoy the parade?
All right.
Where is the best view?
All right, so we start promptly at 9 a.m. The parade forms up at 8:45 at Lamy Road, and we have all assurances from our coordinators that we are beginning promptly at 9 a.m. We are also asking persons to line the streets, the routes, along with their children for the distribution of tokens and paraphernalia, little flags and everything to cheer on the band at the parade as they traverse the streets of Roxborough. So we are asking persons to line the routes from as early as 8 a.m. for that distribution, and the parade marches off at 9 a.m. promptly. And as PS said, we head up to East, up to Prince Street, and back down to Sid Gray, where we break out.
Excellent. And as he would have indicated before, tell us about some of the prizes that would be distributed there.
All right. So following the route march, we have the annual Republic Day Awards ceremony and reception. This is being held at the Delaford Community Center. The objective of this program is really to highlight, to honor, to appreciate the work of outstanding individuals and groups that live, reside, operate in Tobago East.
Okay.
So we have 5 distinguished categories in which persons were selected to be awarded. We have the Entrepreneur of the Year, Most Impactful Youth Organization, Most Impactful Community Organization. We have Most Outstanding Sports Personality, male and female, and we have the Minister's Special Selection for the Minister's Spirit Award, and that was a selection made by our Honorable Minister, Ayanna Webster Roy. So we have these categories where persons are expected to be awarded for their noteworthy contribution to nation building.
Okay, and what time does that ceremony begin? We know that there's a limited capacity there.
Oh yeah, this is an invite-only event, and it immediately follows the route march. So as soon as we break out, we journey to Delaford Community Center for the reception.
All right, excellent. And Mr. Kent, we know that persons look forward to the night in Roxborough, as we have the celebration there. Do you guys have any part to play in that one?
No, not really. That fall under the auspices of the Tobago House of Assembly, so they organize that. Really impactful cultural show, and of course culminates with the fireworks.
Right, excellent. Yeah. And I guess we're gonna see you there having a time in the fireworks as well after all that hard work in the morning, right? But we do look forward to that, specifically, the award of outstanding individuals in Tobago East. Persons might be wondering, so what's going on with us down here in the West? But you have highlighted a number of outstanding persons who are going to be celebrated. Why is it important for even persons from, on the western end of the island to come up early tomorrow and celebrate with everyone?
Well, I would say traditionally, Republic Day in Tobago is known as Roxborough Day. Mm-hmm. I mean, all roads lead to Roxborough on that day. So we are inviting persons not just from the east, we are inviting all persons from across the north side, west, to come up to Roxborough for what is another massive, exciting celebration of 48 years of being a Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We have exciting displays. We have these demonstrations and displays of our culture. We have impressive displays from our military personnel and those persons that will be on parade. So it's something that you don't want to miss. It's something that caters to the entire family. So we are asking persons to come on out to experience this and celebrate with us.
All right. And after the parade has concluded and individuals have gone to the award ceremony in Delaford, Is there anything else that would be happening down at the Sid Gray complex for persons to enjoy there?
Well, no formal activity at the Sid Gray complex, but we know it's another harvest, so to speak, in Roxborough.
Okay.
All right. So Renaissance, the new housing development there, they usually will have their harvest celebrated there. So the break between the parade and the cultural show and fireworks, people will normally do the normal harvest trek within Renaissance.
Okay. Good to hear. And so when it comes to traffic going up to Roxborough tomorrow morning, can you tell us anything about that? Is there any designated, setups for officers on the route to ensure that the traffic runs smoothly going up in the morning?
Well, yes, we have a committee that assists with planning the whole route march celebration, and the police forms an integral part of that, and they will be out along the route to control traffic. We know usually it's traffic jam, so people from the west and lower areas in the east try to get in early as possible, because the route for the parade on the main street will be blocked off during the period of the parade. Okay. So there are alternative routes through the back in the estate, Cocoa Estate, that would be used. But the police would be there to direct people as far as possible. And we know it usually, all right, stiff traffic to go into Roxborough.
Exactly.
So we're urging people to move early.
Right, and what about parking, during that time? Are there designated areas for individuals to park while they go and enjoy the parade?
Yes, people usually park along the side streets in Renaissance, as well as along the Cameron Canal Road, which is leading to the waterfall, as well as the Bloody Bay Road leading to Roxborough Sec, police station, hospital. In that area, people usually park in those areas. And there are some open spaces as well throughout Roxborough that people utilize.
Okay, so there are particular areas we can't expect to get our vehicles wrecked or anything like that in Roxborough tomorrow morning, right? But, we look forward to the celebration and, even that type of harvest vibe that happens in Roxborough tomorrow. Hopefully we find somebody else to go by and just enjoy the Republic Day celebration. Again, it's for the whole of Tobago to come out and support and to enjoy. Yes. What are some of the paraphernalia we can see being distributed early in the morning? Do we have T-shirts? Do we have flags? What are we going to see?
We don't have T-shirts, but we definitely have flags. We have other Trinidad and Tobago themed red, white, and black paraphernalia. We are also distributing water, juice, snacks to children that are along the route. But this would only be for the period 8 a.m. to the start of the parade. So this is why we are urging persons to come out early so that we can have a smooth distribution, and then we go on to the parade.
Right. Okay. And so no umbrellas being distributed.
No umbrellas.
Just joking. But, we thank you guys for all the effort and that you've made to see this thing through. And we hope that it is a success tomorrow. We're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back real soon, right after this.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starter.
All roads lead to the Sid Gray Sporting Complex on Tuesday, 24th September for the T.H.A. Republic Day Cultural Show and Fireworks Display. With performances by the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services Band, the Best of Best Village 2024, highlights from the Tobago Heritage Festival 2024, Flaming Fire Limbo, Franz Job, a steel pan blowout featuring Kirsch Ramsey, Calypso Quartet, and much more. The cultural show begins at 6 p.m. and the fireworks display at 8 p.m. It's the T.H.A.'s Republic Day Cultural Show and Fireworks Display. Don't you miss it.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU. I'ma play some tune like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me play very hard, fiesta, fun,
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash, broke where you have, where you know about.
It's too early for that.
Too early, good on. They do but then enough nine. Girl, go to club, girl, like nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and a winding up on me man.
Dream.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, this morning we continue our conversation on all that's happening as Tobago celebrates Republic Day up at Roxborough tomorrow. Now, we know all roads lead to Roxborough both in the morning and in the evening. So we want to give you a bit of an update on what's happening security-wise, traffic-wise, what you can expect, and to ensure your safety and security during this celebration. Now, this morning, as I have this conversation, I have the pleasure of sitting in studio with ASP Dirk John, who is from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago.
Good day, ma'am. Good day.
Now, a lot is happening tomorrow. We just heard from the Permanent Secretary at CAST about the morning parade. They indicated that the parade is starting off promptly at 9 a.m. and individuals are expected to line the streets from 8 a.m. Now, some of the questions that I would have asked them were surrounding, firstly, the ability to enter and exit Roxborough safely and efficiently, even with all the traffic that's happening. We know individuals are coming both from Tobago East and West to be a part of that celebration. So when it comes to persons coming from Tobago West up to Roxborough, can we expect police officers to be directing traffic from as early as where to, kind of, because we know that the route is going to be blocked off?
Yes, there would be some traffic restrictions. I don't know if that was presented before.
Yes.
But there will be some traffic restrictions, not to stop the enjoyment of the parade, but to just manage it much better.
Right. We know that traffic would be diverted to that Roxborough road that goes to the Roxborough High School.
Yes, that's the Bloody Bay.
The Bloody Bay Road, that north side road.
Yes.
So, in addition to that, where would your officers be set up to begin to guide the traffic?
Well, as to the specific locations of the officers, that would be a security issue. But you will see visible police, both on the ground and in mobiles, assisting members of the public as to where you can go and where you should not go. But we do know that there's a security climate that we need to suppress. So you will see an amalgamation of security forces present on tomorrow. Please go.
All right, and tell us about the evening time. We see, there are sometimes persons who were not at the morning parade would come up in the evening time. What about traffic during that time? And
restrictions will continue. Well, that will be outside the loop of the legal notice, as I have a copy of the legal notice here.
Okay.
But to ensure that the evening proceedings go calmly, safely for those persons, we will have presence of officers as well.
Okay, but there would be no traffic restrictions going off to
not during that
the
time,
evening.
not based on my information.
Okay.
Based
And
on
when it comes to where is it legal to park during those evening celebrations, we know persons park even along the main road there, down in Argyle, right before you enter the waterfall. Persons park outside of the Renaissance. Where are the legal areas that persons should park as to not obstruct traffic during that time?
Of course. Let me refer the listening audience to the legal notice published under the hand of our Commissioner of Police. Now, these restrictions are temporary between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. So that time slot there is a very important time slot. So persons are encouraged to get there before, adequately park, secure your vehicles, secure your belongings, and present yourself and enjoy the parade. We're looking at restrictions along the junction of Boston Street and Windward Road to the junction of Prince Street and Windward Road, Lamy Road, Cameron Canal Road, Station Hill Bypass, the Police Station Street, Boston Street, and Prince Street. However, we will allow traffic to flow along Lamy Road, Cameron Canal, Station Hill, Police Station Street, Boston Street, and Prince Street. The traffic will flow, but we will prohibit parking.
Excellent. Well, you heard it here. So that would be what would guide individuals during the evening time as well.
During the evening time, depending on where the concentration of the...
But we know most of the concentration would be at the Sid Gray Stadium.
Wonderful. And that spot there is right there by the fire station and the gas station. So we would limit parking along there. Persons should be guided by officers on the ground. Just comply. We know what we're doing, and we will guide you accordingly.
Right. And as you indicated, in your preamble, crime is, something that's on the top of mind for Tobagonians, especially the fact that we saw, 2 murders happening over the weekend, back to back in the very same area that the celebrations are taking place tomorrow. How can persons be sure that this celebration would not be used as an opportunity for retaliation and that innocent persons may be, in the line of fire during this celebration?
Police, we understand the concern. We also know that the fear of crime drives a lot of people's anticipation as well. What we're hoping for is that members of the public understand that we need them cooperating with us. If they should see or hear that something may take place or something is about to take place, please give us a call. You still have the 99 system, give us a call. We will respond. As we're seeking to understand the dynamics of what is propelling that increase in gang activity in those areas, we still call upon members of the public to work with us. We are not working against members of the public here. We need to work closer together to understand what is happening. Now, I came from a homicide background. I understand the value of the investigators pursuing these investigations in Tobago. They have wonderful capacity. What we fall short of, though, is that evidence is key in propelling our investigations. So that's why we always clamor for greater collaboration with members of the public.
Excellent. And to maintain that level of safety and security and confidence in persons attending the event, you indicated that there would be heavy police presence, but what would that look like? Would it look like patrols throughout the event? What can we really expect? Because we know that the bulk of persons may not necessarily be at the celebrations at Sidgray in the evening time.
Yes.
You know, there is that harvest type culture where persons are, you know, in the different streets and, you know, enjoying company at persons' residences. So how does the TTPS plan to ensure that they are at all places at once?
We can be at all places at once, but we would encourage persons to live their lives. All we're asking for is that you understand that based on the present climate, you will see an increase police, military presence on the ground. It's going to be diverse. You will see officers in vehicles moving around. You're going to see them on the ground. At the end of the day, it's there for their security. It's not to turn them away, you know. It's for them to understand, members of the public to understand that we are there, present and visible. And we're there for you, covering you, protecting you always.
All right, excellent. And when we talk about the public impact, what type of impact is expected from tomorrow's parade?
Diverse. It's going to be a 2-mile walk from Lamy to Prince Street and then back to Sidgray. You're going to see displays, mechanical displays, police motorcycles, fire service mechanized devices. You're going to see an amalgamation of the forces moving along together because we're going to celebrate a unique day where Parliament first started, right? So we want members of the public to come out and celebrate with us.
Right. And this should also be inspiring and inspirational to the young kids. You know, I heard Cass talk about the fact that they would be giving out little treats and stuff along the road to the kids, but would there be opportunities for families and even the young children to interact with the officers post parade?
Yes, I believe so. You see, well, during the parade it's going to be a bit difficult as the parade moves along.
Yeah.
But upon the dismissal of the parade, I mean, come on, nothing stops members of the public from saying hi, shake a hand with the officers.
Because, you know, this plays a huge role, especially in young persons and their inspiration for who they want to be.
Yes, we want to
and their
stimulate
career. So are there, you know, any events that would kind of facilitate that inspiration to the kids after the parade?
I hope that the CAS explores more of that. My specifics would be along the security aspect of things, right?
Yeah.
But coming from a nationalist mindset, I would encourage youths to come out and be part of it just by their presence and by their cheering us on.
Right. But don't you think maybe, you know, for the future, something that can be recommended is to have those, you know, different security booths and stuff, you know, that represent all the different arms of security and allow, you know, persons to, you know, understand what the recruitment process looks like, when recruitment is happening, you know, what are the requirements, and, you know, get persons more interested in being a part of the security service.
Allow me to convey that because that's a wonderful idea. Some years ago in Trinidad, we had what was called a community caravan, where we moved along every single division, even in Tobago, where there were several booths with several entities, units, presenting themselves with flyers, information, interacting with members of the public, especially the youths, encouraging them to get into something positive.
I mean, because after the parade, there's really nothing happening until later on in the evening. So that's a great opportunity to have somewhat of a career market for the services. Now we're going to take a quick break here and we're going to be back right after this. So see you soon, guys.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never.
Go in. You have to stop it. You have to stop it.
Welcome to my kitchen, guys.
You have to stop it again.
That's it. That's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Stop. You don't have to sneak in. You don't have to sneak. Pigeon Point security, we have an access pass. You don't have to sneak in.
What access pass is that?
The new Pigeon Point Breaking Beach access card. With this card, you can get free access to Pigeon Point, a free umbrella, and a free chair. So make sure you get your Pigeon Point access card.
I can get that?
Definitely. This is your access card, so you can now go into Pigeon Point.
Okay. Guys, we outside in Pigeon Point, sun and we enjoying it with we access cards. All social media links to Youth Voice and Pigeon Point would be tagged, and stay tuned for it.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. We continue our conversations with ASP John as we talk about all that's happening at the Republic Day celebrations in Roxborough tomorrow. But we're touching a bit on crime and the role that the public can play in fighting crime. Now, there are a number of avenues that persons can reach out to the TTPS. Not just in relation to what's happening for the celebration, but generally, when it comes to securing their neighborhood, securing their area, securing even, their own life and limb. Tell us about ways that we can reach out and interact in a safe, secure, and confidential manner.
Of course. Allow me to share this. There is no national security unless people feel safe. And our interaction with members of the public on the ground has a rippling effect. We know this. We would encourage members of the public to utilize the 99 system for a rapid response capacity. If the matter is very sensitive and you need a form of anonymity, you have the 555 or 800 tips. These systems are proven systems internationally where persons can give anonymous information to some entity not connected to the police, and that information is then passed on to us and we will act on it.
Excellent. And so when it comes to restoring the confidence of the general public in the police service, what type of initiatives are being done to make sure that persons feel confident in sharing that type of information?
And as I alluded before when we began the interview, community engagement is a very important pillar under our strategic plan. Having our community meetings, our station council meetings, we allow for that interaction face-to-face with members of the public as well as key stakeholders, allowing that information flow, that exchange of ideas to build platforms towards a better future, because we need to know what is happening in the communities as there are not enough police officers, ma'am. We do know that the resolution of situations can come from within the communities. So we encourage these community interactions as well as community walkabouts. We do have that as well.
Excellent. Now, we touched a bit on the potential of having, that type of open market for persons to explore careers, in the protective services.
Of course.
Now, there's still individuals who think that when you join, whether it be the Coast Guard, the Air Guard,
Yes.
or the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, that you're just going to be an officer or someone who sits in the station
Yes.
or is patrolling or someone who they see, directing traffic. But there are
Yes.
so many different avenues, to establish or start one's career through the service. Tell us more about, the different units and avenues that persons can explore.
When I joined the service in 1993, I could not have imagined the scope that would have evolved over the years. Times have changed. And persons who have their subjects or who are aspiring to contribute to the national security fabric ought not to be afraid to push themselves. Within the TTPS, we have technical experts within cyber. It's a very key component in advancing investigations. We have homicide experts who are doing some tremendous work. We have officers who work in intelligence gathering. We have operational officers, and we have officers who are specific within managing traffic. It is not a low particular function. Everything works together. Officers in Mounted Branch, K9, drug officers, we work together in order to advance investigations. So I don't want people thinking, I join the service, there's no hope, there's no scope. There is scope, and it starts with a will to drive yourself forward.
Right. And how can persons, let the TTPS know what areas they are interested in? Because persons still are of the mindset that when you go in, you train as an officer,
Yes.
they put you where they want to put you.
Yes.
So how can a person express interest and actually be positioned, let's say, for instance, in IT or in cybersecurity, in communication, or in a legal unit?
Management, for me, represents the planning, organizing, and directing of resources. Now, once you do know what your human resource skills bank represent, you can adequately deploy persons into right fit positions.
Right.
So someone who joins this service, I would urge them to market themselves towards exploring their skills where it's needed. So someone comes in, they're heavy IT, nothing is wrong. in applying to go to or into an IT relevant field.
Right.
Someone comes in and they believe they could make a very good intelligence officer. I would still encourage that they learn the basics, the foundation of policing before they explore that particular specific function. Because no matter what, you still have to deal with the base policing knowledge that you have to expand upon. Okay?
Excellent. And, you know, when it comes to expanding the capacity of officers who are already in the service,
yes,
you know, we know multiple training sessions are held in different areas every year, but what are some of the, you know, active mechanisms being used to increase not just the resources around officers, but their own capacity to handle the job?
Wonderful. Quite recently, our administration requested information as to the skill set that officers possess, which is to create a skills bank. And that skills bank allow you to deploy accordingly. Now, with regards to, let's look at my background, for example. As I went through the system, I saw a gap and I attempted to fill it based on doing some studies within the criminal justice field, just to allow a more professional look as to the TTPS, policing, and how the police fits in the criminal justice system. So persons do come in with their degrees, their masters, their bachelors. Some come in and allow their skills to be regenerated and springboard, but there is continuous training within the TTPS in various fields. Customer service, investigation, intelligence gathering, IT. There is continuous training, which from the mandate of the Commissioner of Police allows for operational capacity to build upon.
Right, and very recently we saw that the Commissioner of Police indicated that there is a shakeup happening within the TTPS, and you know, this is to combat complacency, and we see a shifting and a moving around of, you know, some of the heads of different units and departments, specifically here in Tobago.
Yes,
we see the movement of, you know, some of the senior officers, such as Mr. Collis Hazel and Rodhill Kirk. Do you think that this would be an effective mechanism to try to fight crime in Tobago?
I am aligned to the strategic plan emanating from the executive, which speaks to having all available to treat with the existing situation. And let me seize this opportunity to thank ACP Hazel and Senior Sup Kirk, having worked with them for the past 4 months, quality-oriented individuals, well-resourced, well-knowledged. I learned a lot from them, and I know that the officers in Tobago learned a lot from these officers. I also welcome the arrival of ACP Subero and Senior Sup Eli to the Tobago crime-fighting construct. And I have faith that the officers who are here, because since I came here 4 months ago, I have seen some wonderful talent displayed by the officers, and all I do is just to add what I consider 2 cents to the mix in building capacity. You have wonderful quality that exists in Tobago. At the end of the day, what restricts may be resource deficiencies, which the administration is seriously working on, because you got to have the right numbers to treat with this particular situation. You have 60,000 people, 22,000 on the east based on the electorate, 27,000 on the west based on the electorate. So do we have the right numbers? The administration is looking at it. Do we have the right equipment, mobility, technical expertise? The administration is looking at it. So I think we are in a good place to build and to treat with the present climate.
All right, and so does that mean that a reduction in crime in Tobago is in our future?
We are pushing for it. We know that the homicides is a testing issue, and that's why I started earlier on with, if persons should see something, they should say something. We do understand the fear of crime, but we do have mechanisms to protect people. We have the Justice Protection Program, which works. I have been working with them over the years, and these guys work hard to protect witnesses. Okay, so if someone has information as to the last 2 murders which occurred in Argyle, or the murders which occurred in Tobago recently, please give us a call. You have the 555-800-TIPS. Let us work in bringing these people to justice. Let us work in taking those guns off the street. Let us work closer together. It is not just a policing fight, because I know what it is to be a victim of a crime.
Right.
I understand.
And how does the TTPS combat the fact that we are seeing more and more high-powered rifles on the streets? How are we dealing with that? We've heard the conversation happening and the argument that the guns are coming in through the port of entry, the legal ports of entry.
Yes.
One of those main ones being the port, where where the boat is coming on there, and there's no scanner for the vehicles.
Yes.
So persons who are walking on are thoroughly searched from head to toe.
Yes.
All their belongings are being searched, but a person can just jump in their car and have someone look around and say, okay, you could go on.
Yes.
So what are some of the, initiatives that are being taken to ensure that, these particular ports of entry where the illegal firearms are coming in are being safeguarded?
We are intensifying collaboration with our entities. You see the port police officers, customs, immigration as well. We know how important these entities are in the whole national security construct. And as I said before, this is not a policing issue solo. The police will take the lead in getting these entities together more collaboratively, talking to each other to build the intelligence network towards securing our borders. We need to secure our borders. All right, so we have intensified operations by working closer together with these entities to treat with that. And we will overcome that deficiency. It's going to take some time, but we're patient enough.
All right, well, we look forward to that. We look forward to, increased security here on the island. And hopefully we don't see the numbers skyrocketing any further than it has already. I mean, we are in September, and I believe that this is the highest rate that we have seen in Tobago so far. So then there is that level of security, just in persons' households that we want to be able to restore. Persons feeling confident to come out and support events like the Republic Day celebration in Roxborough. And there may be persons who are saying, well, based on what has happened over the weekend, I don't want to go. What would you say to those individuals who are, slowly becoming fearful of what it means to live in Tobago?
Yes, I share that concern. I understand fully that concern. And I still believe in what I do. And there are many officers who still believe in what they do. And we are pushing towards making this island safer. Now, there's some things that we cannot accept anymore. That's a cultural mindset that we see something and it's our business. We cannot accept that in Tobago. You can't accept a man walking around with a high-powered rifle and have nothing to say. You cannot accept seeing someone breaking into someone's home or someone's vehicle and have nothing to say. Only when it hits home are we interested. We should not be. Let's look out for each other. The police has a function, but I believe members of the public ought to appreciate changing dynamics, change the mindset.
Excellent. And we want to thank you so much for giving us your time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on and letting us know all that's happening in regards to security and safety at the 2024 Republic Day celebration. And again, the parade starts promptly at 9 a.m.
That's my information.
And it starts in Lamy Road.
Lamy Road.
And it goes all the way
to Prince Street, then comes back around to the Sid Gray, where they would dismiss around that area there.
Right. And so we look forward to a successful parade and crime-free celebrations, hopefully.
Yes, we look forward to. We live with hope, ma'am.
All right. So we are encouraging all of Tobago to come out and be a part of these Republic Day celebrations. And be sure to bring the kids out to, be inspired and to be motivated by the parade and hopefully their interactions with officers after that parade celebration. Now, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Prior to this conversation, we had the Permanent Secretary for CAS, Mr. Erlen Kent, as well as Ms. Liz Moy McKenzie, who were on with us. And now we are rounding up our discussion with our ASP from the TTPS, Mr. Dirk John. And we want to thank you again. And, sending our support out to those new officers as well who are reassigned to Tobago. We wish them nothing but the best in their crime fighting effort. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, have a great day, and thank you.
I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is #1. I am you and you are me. Together we strong.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island.